Coming up, a controversial video showing two journalists being killed is released on the internet. The government was trying to keep it from going public. We've got a full report.
And speaking out, the American university community comes out to discuss date rape after a controversial story ran in the campus newspaper. A live report straight ahead. District Wire News starts right now. Good evening. I'm Philippa Levenberg.
And I'm Carmen Castro. A disaster at a West Virginia coal mine last night has devastated the state. With more than 24 people confirmed dead, yesterday's mining accident is the deadliest in the state since 1984. But just because this accident isn't the first of its kind in West Virginia doesn't make it the tragedy any easier on the people it has affected. Alex Thompson has more.
We're in a very difficult situation here, and there's hopes and prayers.
Even West Virginia's governor is having a hard time consoling his state's residents after a coal mine accident in Marsh Fork, West Virginia last night has become the worst mining accident in the state in over a quarter century.
We don't know where my dad's body's at. We want some answers, and we want them today.
So far, 25 miners have been confirmed dead in the explosion. 4 other miners are still missing, but dangerous buildups of methane and carbon monoxide gases at the rescue site have put a stop to rescue efforts for now.
It's a dire situation, but I do think it's a rescue operation, and it'll be that way until we confirm that these 4 additional people are not living.
Crews have begun digging ventilation holes down into the mines in the hopes of reaching any survivors, but experts say those efforts could take days. Alex Thompson, District Wire News.
In northern China, rescuers are trying to save 32 miners trapped in a flooded coal shaft. 115 miners were pulled out after being stuck for 8 days. The Chinese government is calling it a victory for the mining industry, which is one of the most dangerous in the world. About 7 miners are killed every day in China.
A whistleblower organization has released a video that it says was taken from an Apache helicopter in Iraq. The group says the video shows the helicopter targeting and killing 2 journalists working for Reuters. Evan Banks has more.
This gunsight video shows an Apache helicopter firing into a group of people in Baghdad in 2007. A whistleblower watchdog group called WikiLeaks obtained, decrypted, and released the video to the public. They say the video shows the deaths of a Reuters photographer, Namir Noor Eldin, and his driver, Saeed Shma.
Major news organizations like the BBC or Reuters or an American television network generally do get training about what to do in combat situations. Where the real danger comes in is usually when it's freelancers.
Reuters has been trying unsuccessfully to obtain the footage through Freedom of Information Act requests since the incident occurred. An unnamed military source, interviewed by the New York Times, confirmed that the video is authentic. WikiLeaks is an online group that reviews confidentially submitted material and releases information it deems important.
But I do think we need organizations that know what they're looking at and can make determinations as to whether something is real or not, to get some stories that are necessary to be said out there.
The Iraqi Journalists Union is now calling for a military investigation into the video. In Washington, Evan Banks, District Wire News.
President Obama says the United States will limit the use of nuclear weapons. The Obama administration revealed its new policy today. It says that the United States will not use nuclear weapons to respond to a chemical or biological attack. The president says he hopes that other countries will also move away from nuclear weapons as a line of defense. The president did not say that the U.S. would never be the first to use nuclear weapons.
President Obama is meeting with African American religious leaders today to discuss the needs of the Black community. The president has faced criticism for not doing enough to help African Americans during these hard economic times. This is the second White House meeting with Black leaders in 3 months. The first one was with Reverend Al Sharpton.
The Republican National Committee's chief of staff resigned yesterday in the face of growing pressure. The RNC has been rocked by controversy since it became known that the committee spent almost $2,000 at a West Hollywood nightclub. Ken McKay's departure is seen as the most recent attempt by the RNC at damage control. RNC Chairman Michael Steele described the move as an effort to reassure donors.
The use of overhead wires in the district streetcar project has some local preservation groups angry. Opponents of the project say the streetcar design is outdated and will cause visual clutter in a city filled with scenic monuments. This comes as the district begins putting down the first miles of track in the planned 37-mile streetcar network. Similar streetcars are already in use in Portland, Oregon, and Charlotte.
Controversy over the freedom of speech continues to brew at American University today. Arissa Scalera joins us live in the studio with more. Arissa?
Thanks, Philippa. A week ago, a column published in a student-run newspaper at American University sparked a heated debate both on and off campus. Now the school is trying to move forward with the discussion and hopefully ease an already tense situation.
And not hatred when their views are not accepted by others. Community and civility are the watchwords of this entire program, and through that, we all may learn something.
On Monday night, officials at the School of Communication at American University hosted a public forum. The goal was to ease tension over a column about date rape published in the university newspaper, The Eagle. Column author Alex Nepper wrote, "Any woman who heads to a fraternity party as an anonymous onlooker, drinks 5 cups of the jungle juice, and walks back to a boy's room with him is indicating that she wants sex." Many of those outraged by the column say the forum opened important lines of dialogue.
I think it went well because I think that we were able to air some of the issues related to sexual assault that this piece brought up.
American University journalism professor John Watson moderated the discussion.
There's definitely a lot of work to do, but I think this was a really good beginning. I'm really glad that people felt free to talk.
Student journalists at the Eagle organized the event, hoping to clear the air.
For the newspaper, we've gotten a chance to look back and reflect on our editorial policies, and for as difficult as it's been, it's great to grow. We are students, so it's important for us to learn.
Nepper has been making headlines this week, appearing on local and national television. He says it's important to protect free speech.
And if you don't like it, you don't have to read it. And if you do read it, you don't have to like it. And if you don't like it, then you can reply to me or as a letter to the editor or get your own columnist position or start up your own newspaper. But you do not have the right to try and shut down speech that you don't approve of.
Now, the Eagle has issued an apology, saying it was not the intent of the newspaper to cause harm by publishing a controversial opinion. They plan to implement new editorial guidelines to avoid another situation like this in the future. Editors of the paper and column author Nepper have decided to part ways, and Nepper will not be writing for the Eagle next year. Back to you in the studio.
Coming up after the break, missing water? One of Washington, D.C.'s iconic landmarks needs to be repaired, and it will change the way the National Mall looks. A full report up next.
And Pregnant Panda will take you to the National Zoo, where one of the most popular attractions might be eating for two.